7. So, as we're getting started to go into the editing process with our story editors, I asked them what makes a great Los Angeles story, and I got a few responses that I thought I would share because they're interesting. So the first one is by Mitch Lopez de Silva, who had a story in Volume 6, Hollywood Adjacent, called The Biltmore Girls. This is a little image of Volume 6 right here. And it was a great sort of time twisty story that takes place in the Biltmore Hotel downtown. And so Mitch had this to say: a great LA story looks at Los Angeles honestly. It happens when an author acknowledges the stereotypes and cliches that exist about this place and refuses to accept them as definitive. The author writes something honest, then we fall in love with that honesty, and one way or another, we end up getting our hearts dragged out of our bodies. I love that. That is so visceral. You can find Mitch on Instagram at author M Lopes de Silva, and I'll be putting up a kind of blog on the Made in LA Writers site where you can link through to all of our story editors' pages. Next up is an answer from Amy Jones Sedavi. Amy had a story in Volume 4, Beyond the Precipice. Her story was called A Girl in the World. She also had a story in Volume 6, Driving the Band, which is about sort of a music industry helper who takes a band around during their visit to LA. And both of those stories are such pitch perfect representations of the interesting cultural scenes that exist in LA. And yeah, I love her stories. She's a retired high school English teacher. She says she spends her days reading and writing fiction in the hilly part of Highland Park, which is not far from where I am. You can find her on Instagram at AJSEDIV. So Amy had this to say: a great story about LA has specific locations: the intersection of Beverly and Virgil, Barnsdall Park, the Museum of Jurassic Technology, the backside of Chinatown, Western all the way south. Basically, Randy Newman's song, I Love LA. Thank you for that, Amy. Next up, Christine Heria, who had a story in Volume 6, Hollywood Adjacent, that is titled The Secret Fishing Spot. It's kind of a historical fiction, Mad Men era, Hollywood Hills, publicity, movers and shakers story, and really captured that vibe well. So Christine says, for me, a great story about Los Angeles subverts expectations of the city, its residents, or what happens here. It reveals a sliver of Los Angeles we never imagined existed and leaves us with a lingering need to explore. I love that. That's what we hope to do with these anthologies, is to give readers a Los Angeles to explore that maybe they never imagined existed. What a nice way to put it. Okay, and then last up for today, I want to share this from Christina Hogue. Christina, who has been a story editor in the past and also had a story in Vantage Points, our 5th volume. Hers is the first story in this anthology, titled The Couch, about an LAPD officer who is sleeping on a couch in the office secretly. Um, and so Christina writes, in response to the question, what makes a great story about Los Angeles? LA glitters and sparkles in the global imagination, but that's only one facet of the gemstone. The best stories dig deep into the urban underbelly, the struggles, the failures, the violence, the sweat, the rot, and yes, the dreams that sometimes do come true that give the city its soul. I love that. You can find Christina Hogue at Christina Hogue Author on Instagram and Facebook, or at ChristinaHogue.com. That's Christina is usually spelled with an H, and her last name Hoag. So that's it for now. I am super excited to dive into editing with all of these wonderful story editors very soon. And we hope to have Made in LA Volume 7 well on its way shortly. So if you want more updates, stay tuned. We'll have them. You can go to our website, madeinlawriters.com, and we'll let you know what's going on.